Edith Murogo is a mother, a wife, a director, a mom to so many other children outside of my house. Around 2001, I found myself as a young mother, a corporate woman. At that time, I was working for a corporate organization. I found that there were no support services for women in the corporate world to be able to take care of their children in a professional manner. So it was at that time actually that I started training domestic workers from my own home. I cultivated good relationships with these domestic workers, and it occurred to me that as a teacher by profession, I could actually contribute to them in terms of skilling, helping them to do things better, helping them to even look at their work more differently, to enjoy the work, to express themselves at the workplace, and to be able to benefit actually from the work that they were doing. So it was at that point that I decided that I think I want to experiment with the empowerment of domestic workers. After I started training domestic workers, we partnered with the Kenya Institute of Education, which is now Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, to develop a national curriculum, because I truly believed, and I believe that till today, that if you empower a human being with a skill, then you have given that person a tool for life. They will be able to use that tool for life, regardless of the sector where they work. People need skills so that they can be able to earn and to function professionally. So it is not different for domestic workers. And we have been skilling these domestic workers with a national curriculum that is there. At the moment, domestic workers can enroll in a skilling program. There are so many schools that are training domestic workers in Nairobi and outside of Nairobi. Sit for exam. They will have their certificates, and then after the certificates, then they can comfortably work either at home or abroad. And that is exactly what is happening at the moment. We have domestic workers working in Kenya, working in the region, Uganda, Tanzania. Kenyan domestic workers are very well skilled. Some of them are migrating with the very certificates that they have after being certified, after they're successfully being trained on both areas of home care management and pre-departure components of the curriculum. They are traveling, going out there and making a living for themselves and their dependents. And we have been seeing a lot of media stories of domestic workers who are even investing, even through their financial institutions, building for their parents, and even being able to educate their children with the proceeds that they get from domestic work. Training domestic workers in 2001, and up to date we have trained over 50,000 domestic workers. I think for the last 5 years we've been running an outreach program whereby we reach out to domestic workers at the community where they live, and we mount community training hubs there. We gather women, we buy the ingredients, we teach them. For example, if we want to cook chapatis, we go there maybe with a meko, something portable, and then the women would come maybe with the frying pan and stuff like that, and we make it fun. And that way also we have been able to train so many women, especially in the suburbs in Nairobi, Kibera, Kawangware. Currently we have about 10 hubs where these women meet on a weekly basis, and we impact them, and we also certify them after they cover a certain number of hours. So these women now are more empowered. They have the confidence to negotiate with employers. They understand their rights because this is part of the training. We also cover reproductive health issues, financial inclusion. The work that we have done over the years, we still see a lot of gaps, especially in the laws. Kenya is one of those countries that has not ratified ILO Convention C-189, which came into being about 13 years ago. But unfortunately, we have not really prioritized. And what is very uninteresting is the fact that we normally hide under the labor laws. But you see, the current labor laws would not protect domestic workers at the workplace, because these workplaces are closed workplaces, and it is very difficult actually to access people's households to conduct any inspections. So normally I would imagine labor officers can only respond when there is a crisis. But in terms of regulating domestic work, it is poorly regulated. and laws are not enforced. Even what is there is not also enforced. We do not have enough labor inspectors or labor workers. We also don't have any associations for the employers themselves. So there's nothing much happening from the government on that end. It occurred to me that there are so many children who are locked in people's homes, especially in the urban setups. Normally, they face a lot of exploitation, a lot of abuse, sexual assault. You know, they're impregnated at the workplace, and so many problems. And so I started responding to these children. That is how, like, over the years, I've been able now to combine the training for adults, domestic workers, but also now having a protection component and a rescue component. Especially after our awareness raising activities, people started rescuing children and actually calling us to alert us that, oh, there's a girl who is being mistreated somewhere. Please come and respond to this girl. And this is how we actually started now responding, by reaching these girls, rescuing them. So working with the community members, working with the chiefs, the police, children officers. And initially, we did not even have a very comprehensive program, but over the years now, we have, I think, one of the best responses, which is a very holistic, very comprehensive children's program, whereby we rescue these girls, put them in a shelter. At the shelter, we offer counseling services. We take them back to school. We reunite them with parents. We help to reintegrate girls where possible. And we now even have an educational fund, which is solely dedicated to providing scholarships to these girls. And I'm happy that today we have girls at secondary schools levels, we have girls in primary school, we have girls in tertiary institutions, which now includes the universities, we have girls in vocational skill centers. We started the Taliagla Girls Shelter in 2012 at Thogoto. But today now we are in our own home. Due to well-wishers' generosity, we are able now, we are happy that we have our home. So over the years, we have helped at least over 1,500 girls, yeah, collectively. The ones who have passed in, and these are the girls who have actually lived in our shelter and accessed different services, and then after that, they have been reintegrated. I'm very excited to have been honored as one of the Trafficking in Persons Report Heroes Award. And this award was awarded to me because of the many years of service to domestic workers, child laborers, victims of forced labor, victims of human trafficking. And has been very, very exciting, you know, to reach that point. Sometimes when we are struggling on the ground, you know, having to go through a lot trying to support victims, supporting domestic workers, you never imagine that you're catching the eye of the global community. So it was very exciting for me to find myself in Washington, D.C. on the 24th of June, receiving an award with Secretary Antony Blinken. It was very, very exciting, and I'm really grateful that while we are working at the grassroots locally, that the work that we are doing is actually impacting at a global level. Our motivation comes from transformation, you know, standing in transformation, wanting to transform our communities, our societies, ensuring that human rights are respected.